Good afternoon, friends, family, coworkers, colleagues, friendly supporters, supportive strangers, and anyone who just happened to come across this video and or live stream by accident. Welcome. If you're new, welcome back. If you've been here before, today I thought we would do another video on my customer service series. I've kind of neglected that series for a little while. So here we are. Before we get started, if you like my content, click the thumbs up. If you think anyone else will benefit, share. I am not monetized. I have no sponsors, no ad revenue, no channel merchandise. It is just me on my own. The best way to support my channel is simply with engagement by making comments, participating in the chat, and making comments in the discussion section below once the video drops into the replay. So, still not feeling amazing, but I'm here. Definitely better than I was the other day. And I think that about covers it. So today I want to talk about the difference between customers and consumers. I think some people get confused. They use the terms interchangeably. I don't personally find that to be particularly problematic, but in some cases it could use some clarification. So that is what we're doing today. Now, I had someone, I didn't have them. I saw someone I know commented a while back. It may even have been more than a year ago, but I remember their post about how they did not like the term consumer. They did not like that we call customers consumers. They believe that everyone is a customer. And that just got me thinking, recently it was on my mind, and here we are. So the short version is the consumer is basically anyone who uses anything. The customer is the person who purchases or signs up for it. So in terms of all customers are consumers, but not all consumers are customers. And I will explain. So the short version, we're kind of done with the short version. So essentially, anyone who uses anything is a consumer. But before we get into that, let's talk about the difference between a few types of products and or services that people consume. So media, if you watch a video, you are a consumer. If you purchase the video or sign up, get a YouTube channel, then you are the customer. If you both sign up and watch the video, you are both a customer and a consumer. If you are the parent and you're signed up on YouTube and you allow your child to watch a video, you, the parent, are both a customer and a consumer. The child is just a consumer. So I did read an interesting distinction, such as a toy as opposed to media, that basically said the same thing. If you buy a toy for your child, you are the customer. The child plays with the toy, they're the consumer. So we have media, which is both purchased and consumed. There are digital products and services, including media, but not limited to media. Digital products can be advertising. They can be memberships to a website. They can be access to file sharing. However, or not however, media and digital can both be free and paid for. You don't have to pay for it to be the customer. You just have to be the account holder. Then we get into different types of physical products. We have products like, for instance, a book, or in this case, book, a set of cards. Not sponsored, by the way, just a reminder, but this is a physical product that one may or may not pay for. But if you are the person who makes the request for the product, you're the customer. There are physical products that are hard copy products, and there are products that are consumables. So if I drink my bubbly sparkling water, drinking it is consuming it, no matter who purchased it or acquired it in any fashion. Acquiring it makes me the customer. Bottled water, same thing. Dental floss, consumables, food, anything that you eat, drink, or use that must be repurchased on or reacquired on a regular basis. Cosmetics, soap, hand lotion, laundry detergent, milk, bread, eggs, those are all consumables. So why do we need to make a distinction between customers and consumers in terms of their relationship to the product or item? It helps in the process of providing and manufacturing products and services as well. So, for instance, my former employer was digital advertising in a very specific industry. So in general, we were digital advertising as an overall industry. But our customers and consumers were in a very specific niche kind of market. And I can't talk about it in specifics. We've talked about that before. I do have non-disclosures and all of those things, and an agreement not to discuss the company on any social media platform, including YouTube. So I cannot name the company. I cannot name the specific industry that we supported. But I can say in general terms, we were digital advertising. Now, why would we make a distinction? And that is because we were business to business. Our customer base, whether they were paid or not, all had an account with us. And their target audience were the consumers. So just like on YouTube, okay? You're watching the video, an ad plays. That ad is geared towards the consumer who will hopefully become a customer of the customer who paid for the ad. And so our industry was very similar. We provided technical support to both our professional customers and to their potential customers, which were the consumers. The consumers never paid us anything. They may or may not have an account. They might go on the website and scroll through for 10 minutes. They're consuming the media. They're consuming the advertising for that industry. Meanwhile, the customers were not as much consuming that media as much as advertising their products and services to consumers who may or may not become customers of any individual advertising customer. Now, why that makes a difference in how we support them is also important because our professional customers and or clients were not ultimately the end user. Our business connected the business advertising with their potential customer. And so how we supported them would be very different. I would support the consumer by helping them navigate the site, find the product or service that matched their needs, and helped match them with the right service or product provider. Now, I would never, ever talk to them about money because they never, ever paid us anything. There was no expectation. They were just simply the end user for the products and services being advertised. with our company. Now, my customers may not pay us something, but they had a product or a service to be provided. So we would also help them with technical issues, navigating our sites and systems and the products and services that they purchased from us. We would also help them navigate how to translate that into service for the consumer. So I know it gets a little confusing, but at the end of the day, we supported customers and consumers. In any situation, the customer may or may not be the consumer, the end user. Let's take a household, for instance. We have our home. Now, most of us have to pay utilities. We purchase a utility service such as our electricity. Now, if the account is in my name, I am the customer. My partner, my children, my friends who come to visit, they are not the customer of my utility company. I am. However, they are all consumers of that energy. If you turn on a light, you are the energy consumer. If you use the sink and you turn on a water faucet to wash your hands, you are the water consumer and the soap consumer. However, you did not purchase those things for my home. I did, making me the customer. Now, customers and consumerism also translates into resources, not just products, services, media, physical, digital. It also translates to resources. So if I buy a bottle of water, I am the customer. If I buy a bottle of water and hand it to my friend is the consumer. If my friend and I are out having a picnic by the river and one of us reaches down and scoops up a cup of water from the river, that is consumption. Not purchasing anything, but we are definitely using it. And so it is important to make this distinction for a number of reasons, in my opinion. It helps to define the actions, the resources, and or products being used. If I read tarot, if I do a tarot card reading for you, you are my customer, also my consumer. You are a consumer of my service, but not a customer of the book company that I bought my tarot cards from. If I'm reading you a story, I am the customer of the book company I bought the book from. You are a consumer of my service of reading you that story, not a customer of the book company. And I do think people get that, people do use the terms interchangeably. And most of the time, as I said earlier, that is not problematic. It can be confusing, though, especially in a professional setting. Now, I way back, a very long time ago, I worked retail. Now, actually, it wasn't retail, it was wholesale. Well, we had two parts to the business. We had a retail side and a wholesale side, and I kind of did a cross version, but my title had me focused on wholesale. And sometimes I would fill in the on the retail side when my own work was done. So in that setting, and I can talk about this, I worked at Sally Beauty Supply. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. It was a natural fit. I worked on the wholesale side, providing products to cosmetology and nail service professionals. So in the store, we would sometimes have someone come in and purchase let's just say on the retail side, our standard non-professional customer. Someone might come in and purchase a shampoo, and they would take it home and someone else would use that shampoo. That someone else might come in and complain that they didn't like what that shampoo did to their hair, because it might not have been the right shampoo for their hair. It was the right shampoo for the person who purchased it. Could I do anything for that end user who didn't make the purchase? No, they didn't buy it. I could not refund their money. I could sell them a different product that would suit them better and make them a customer, but I couldn't replace a product that they didn't buy. I couldn't exchange it for something else. They didn't buy it. It's not for them. It's something they used. They probably didn't even bring it back. They're just like, hey, my friend bought this product and she thought it would be good for both of us, but it didn't work for me. Well, I'm very sorry it didn't work for you. Do you have the same hair type? Is her hair curly and your hair is straight? Do you have color treated hair and your friend doesn't? These things make a difference in some types of products. And maybe that's a topic we can cover on a different video. But generally speaking, I could not provide the same solutions for that consumer that I could provide for the customer. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I had different solutions. But from the customer/consumer side of things, I can see how that could be frustrating. My friend bought a product. I used it. It didn't work for me. She bought a stripping shampoo to get medication and chemicals out of her hair. I'm not on medication or using anything that I need a stripping shampoo. That shampoo does something to my hair that I don't like. It's not right for me. So I go to the store where she bought it and I complain. I'm going to have to pay for the solution. Whereas if the product didn't work well for my friend, she might have just been able to exchange it for a different product. Now, am I going to be mad at the store? Common sense in my mind, no, I'm not going to be mad. It's not their fault that my friend bought a product that was right for her, but not for me. However, I'm not going to be mad at the manufacturer. I'm not even going to be mad at my friend. However, as the in-store professional, we did have people who would be mad about things like that. So it is important to understand our place in the equation, because that can determine what steps can be taken on our behalf, what steps we can personally take on our own behalf. So I think we can talk about another example as well. Maybe going back to resources. If I'm the one who purchases, what else might I purchase? Food. Food is a great example. Food is a consumable. At the end of the day, the food will be consumed. The shampoo will be consumed. The water will be consumed. Anyone drinking the water, eating the carrot, whether they're grabbing a whole fresh carrot straight out of the fridge, or someone cooks the carrot into a meal, the person eating the meal is the consumer. Now, if I purchased the carrot, I cook the carrot, and I eat the carrot, I am both the customer and a consumer. Fidget toy. I didn't pay for this. I picked this up from a booth at one of the job fairs I go to. So they were just giving these away. Now the company, or in this case, it wasn't a company, it was an organization that purchased these. They were the customer. I am the end user because I picked one up off their table and brought it home. My toy. I am the consumer, end user, regardless of who paid for it. And I just snapped the pieces apart. I will fix that later. Regardless of who paid for it, regardless of how it came into being. Now, this friend of mine did seem to be a little upset because they wanted to see everyone as the customer. And that makes sense in some ways, but it doesn't make sense in others. I go to the river for a picnic with my friend. We're washing our faces in the water. We're drinking fresh water from the spring. We are consumers. We're not customers. We're not buying or signing up for anything. We are simply using / consuming a naturally existing resource. Therefore, we are consumers, not customers. We're not customers of anybody. We're just hanging out in nature, using what nature provides in a way nature allows for it to be used to refresh our bodies. In that situation, we're not customers and should not be called customers. We are, in fact, consumers of resources. There are I think it also matters. Oh, lost my thoughts. Customers and consumers do have a lot of overlap. But one does not always equal the other. Now, in a retail or fast food setting, for instance, there's another way that we could look at this. And that is, or even at a job fair, we go into a business. And let's say that business is offering a free product that day. If today's your birthday, show us your ID and we will give you a free bottle of water. You go in, you are not actually purchasing anything. But in that situation, you are still also the customer because you are patronizing an organization for a product, which is very different than going out to the river and just drinking some free water from the river. Because the physical product, the consumable even, whether it is free or paid for by you, had to be produced and paid for by someone. And it's tangible, but you're still a customer rather than just a consumer because you are there to obtain the product through an acquisition process. It isn't something that just exists. It's something that you have to, I guess, in a sense, ask for. Now, I know that sounds a little contradictory and maybe a little dicey because water. Why are we paying for water? Why is water coming in a bottle? We are not paying for water. We are paying for the transportation of water, which makes us a customer. Now, if you're getting the water for free because they're giving it to you because it's your birthday, you're still the customer. I don't know how to make it any more clear or make any different distinction, but I hope I've been able to clear up some of the confusion about the difference between customer and consumer. And I think this is where I'm going to end for today. I am definitely in need of more water. And I do have some things to get on with. And hopefully, losing my train of thought. Still got a little brain fog going on. It's getting better. But anyway, enough rambling. Thank you for joining me. Stay blessed, stay authentic, and stay connected. And I will see you in the next one.